In 1992, India introduced the Panchayati Raj concept of village level governance, its most significant piece of legislation since independence. This October 2nd marked 25 years since the Panchayati Raj Act was implemented in Kerala, one of the early states to adopt the concept. In all these years of the Panchayati Raj in India, one village in Kerala has scripted an amazing story, truly bringing power to the hands of the people. Geometric View visits Kizhakkambalam, a village that defied political parties of all hues to rewrite the concept of local self-governance. If you cannot pronounce Kizhakkambalam, start practicing now, because all indicators say that we are going to hear a lot about this village in the outskirts of Kochi, Kerala in the days and years to come. To cut straight to the point, villagers here, fed up with an apathetic panchayat administration and unacceptable political leadership, decided to contest the 2015 panchayat election under the banner of a charitable society called 2020 and won a whopping 17 of the 19 wards. Up until 2011, Kizhakkambalam was known for being the headquarters of the Anna Aluminium Kitex Group, founded by entrepreneur M.C. Jacob in 1968. Jacob was a man who believed that any successful industry must ensure that the community around it grew along with the industry. He passed away in 2011, and his sons Sabu M. Jacob and Bobby M. Jacob, keeping to their father's vision, held in 2012 a free medical camp for villagers, which about 5,200 villagers attended. As a follow-up to the medical camp, the Anarchitects group conducted a socio-economic survey in the village, which revealed shocking facts. Several hundred families in the village either had no power or water or toilet or all of these, and many families lived under tarpaulin sheets along with their livestock and other domestic animals. Under the initiative of Bobby and Sabu Jacob, 82 people then got together to decide how to tackle all of these problems that the village faced and turn it into a model for the whole country. But after a few rounds of deliberations, 70 of them dropped out, mostly politicians, and only 12 were left. And they decided to go ahead and register a charitable society called 2020 Kizhakkambalam. Why that name? Because in 2013, when they registered the society, they thought it would take them about 7 years to really make Kizhakkambalam a model for India. 2020 began with a water tank project to supply 24/7 running water to a group of homes that did not have piped water connections. The Panchayat was quick to issue a stop memo. The reason? Because the maze of rules and regulations and permits and permissions were not met. The beneficiary villages had to hold a dharna to get the project going. During the Onam festival time in 2014, 2020 organized a mega fair in which villagers were offered household goods like mixers and grinders and televisions at a 50% discount. The Panchayat and the government were quick to step in again. The Panchayat again issued a stop memo, sealed the place, and the district collector issued prohibitory orders. That was the final straw for the villagers, who united under the 2020 banner against official high-handedness and unhelpful politicians.
70 വർഷമായി ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ 30 കൊല്ലം ചൈനയും ജപ്പാനേക്കാളും 30 കൊല്ലം നമ്മൾ പൊറോട്ട ഈ നശിച്ച രാഷ്ട്രീയക്കാർ ചതുരതയെ വളർത്തണേ എന്നിട്ട് കൊള്ളയും.
The overriding question that faced them was, why do government officials and politicians behave like this? The answer, because they have power. So the villagers asked themselves, so why don't we come to power? That call was boldly taken up. When 2020 contested the 2015 elections, they did not even have a common symbol for all their candidates. But they still won 17 of the 19 wards. The village was taken by the villagers. Politicians could be ousted and self-governance was possible, they proved. This was unique for any of Kerala's 941 panchayats, or for that matter, possibly for any of India's 269,000 odd gram panchayats. But despite winning 69.9% of the votes in the village and taking 17 of the 19 wards, political parties made it tough for 2020 in its governance of the village. When 2020 introduced a food security supermarket selling goods at a massive discount, politicians dubbed it a corporate tactic. But villagers loved it. The discount was 50% during normal times, 80% during COVID times.
This is pure jaggery from sugarcane. This is from our plantation. It's the purest form, and now it's in a liquid state.
When construction of a brand new bus station began, political parties opposed. And when the panchayat under 2020 began laying good quality roads, there was opposition again. And the Kerala High Court had to intervene before the road work could be started.
2020 എന്ന പ്രസ്ഥാനം അധികാരത്തിൽ വന്നത് തൊട്ട് അവരുടെ വികസനത്തിന്റെ ഭാഗമായി ചെമ്പറക്കി പുക്കാട്ടുപടി റോഡ് വീതി കൂട്ടി വൈഡൻ ചെയ്ത് വീതി കൂട്ടി 12 മീറ്റർ ആക്കി അന്താരാഷ്ട്ര നിലവാരത്തിൽ അവർ ആ റോഡ് നിർമ്മിക്കാനായിട്ട് അവരെ കൊണ്ട് സാധിച്ചു. അങ്ങനെ റോഡ് ടാർ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് വന്നപ്പോഴാണ് മലയിടുന്നൂരത്തിൽ വെച്ച് രാഷ്ട്രീയ പാർട്ടികൾ കുറച്ചുപേര് വന്നിട്ട് അത് തടയുകയും ഏകദേശം 10-40 ലക്ഷം രൂപയുടെ നഷ്ടം വരുത്തുകയും ചെയ്തു.
2020 has made Kizhakkambalam unique among all local bodies in the state. Kerala has 941 gram panchayats, 152 block panchayats, 14 district panchayats, 87 municipalities and 6 corporations for a total of 1,200 local bodies. At Kizhakkambalam, 2020 has revived agriculture, improved infrastructure and built homes for the poor at 1.4 million rupees each, called the God's Villa project. As 2020 nears the end of its 5-year term in governing the panchayat, the panchayat's finances are also in fine shape. When it began, the panchayat had a debt of 3.9 million rupees. Today, the panchayat has a surplus of 135 million rupees. And most importantly, the villagers are also pleased.
ഇത്ര വലിയ ഭൂരിപക്ഷത്തിലെ ഒരു സംഘടന തന്നെ ഒരു പഞ്ചായത്ത് ഭരിക്കുന്നത് നല്ലതാണോ?
വളരെ നല്ലതാണ്. കാരണം അതാണ് ഏറ്റവും ഉചിതം, ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് പ്രയോജനവും.
പല രാഷ്ട്രീയ പാർട്ടികളുള്ളതല്ലേ ഒരു ഡെമോക്രസിയുടെ ശക്തി?
അത് പല രാഷ്ട്രീയ പാർട്ടികൾ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നപ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് അതിൻ്റെതായ ഗുണം ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് കിട്ടിയിരുന്നില്ല.
So what has been the difference? Sabu Jacob says 2020 is quite different from the traditional political outfit.
The difference between the politicians and 2020, whatever we do, we always look at a long-term planning. So for example, any road, first, we conduct a study, scientific study. After 20 years, what is the traffic there? After 25 years, what is the traffic? Based on that traffic, we will decide the width of the road and the foundation of the road.
Make no mistake, Kizhakkambalam has been an odd case of a successful decentralization exercise benefiting people at the grassroots level. Elsewhere, corruption has continued to run deep.
When you look at 25 years of the Panchayati Raj program, or decentralization as we call it here, you find that the big changes have been in one, women empowerment, because more than 50% of the seats are reserved for women. What has unfortunately happened is that the corruption which we thought it would do away with actually has been decentralized again.
Also, there is criticism that corporate subsidizing an entire village is not the ideal governance model. Social scientists point out that the world has experimented with capitalism, socialism, social democracy of the Scandinavian variety, particularly Sweden, and even Gandhism. They say that a market-managed economy is not the ideal solution to solving societal issues. If financial experts and MBAs were the best people to govern a society, then countries which produce them should have been the best run countries, they say. Such philosophical considerations of ideology or socioeconomics don't seem to bother the villagers of Kizhakkambalam. Sabu Jacob feels that success depends a lot on the quality of leadership.
We have so much resources locally. We have very educated people. So what do you think is wrong with the way panchayats are run?
See, any organization, whether panchayat or state, the leadership is very important. See, normally we say, the captain of the ship. If the captain is good, I think the entire ship will go very smooth.
So where does Kizhakkambalam go from here?
As we go forward with the Panchayati Raj system, it is necessary to empower the panchayats, not just in terms of giving them the powers, but ensuring that the capacity is there. Because one of the main recommendations of the Act was that you would actually, you will redeploy people in such a manner that you have engineers and others working at the panchayat level. Unfortunately, that has not happened. So one of the most important things is empowering panchayats, and the second one would be to ensure that the fund flow is not restricted by the state governments.
Meanwhile, 2020 is ready for the upcoming panchayat elections, the dates for which may be announced any time now. This time, its aim is to win all the 19 wards in Kizhakkambalam Panchayat and also extend its model and presence to 4 more panchayats around it. It has already announced all its 19 candidates for Kizhakkambalam. Out of the 19, as many as 16 are women. Kizhakkambalam must be the one panchayat in all of India which comes closest to the ideal of Mahatma Gandhi's concept of Gram Swaraj, or what Abraham Lincoln meant in his Gettysburg Address when he talked of a democracy of the people, by the people, and for the people. Sure, one success story in a little village in the outskirts of Kochi is a minuscule start to transferring real power into the hands of the people. Big state governments and the federal government continue to be Gullivers in front of these small gram panchayats. But let's also not forget that these are the days when a newcomer like a Tesla Motors can outsmart a century-plus-old Ford Motor Company. So it's highly advisable that we start learning how to pronounce Kizhakkambalam. Thank you.